Welcome everyone. Thank you guys for coming tonight and listening to what the Family Support Center in Fitchburg and Leominster and Athol can do for you or with you, because we are actually part of your team. So I'll give a little history about myself and then let you know what Seven Hills is. So I personally, my journey in this field started as a preschool teacher about 30 years ago. And then it moved me to more of a whole child approach. I really liked being able to see what we could do with different types of learning. So I went to school for communications disorders, and from there, under communication disorders, I've learned what the autism world was all about and really enjoyed every piece of it, and the brilliancy that came out of my students just because they couldn't talk sometimes or couldn't communicate with me in a different way. The brilliancy out of them was amazing. I swear somebody with autism is going to cure cancer one day because they know the atoms where they go and we don't, right? So I really felt like that was my calling, and so I started working for specialty schools and did a lot of liaison work in between like a specialty school and the school district, and teaching teachers how to read those reports that come to them and what does that mean for your classroom. And through that journey, I found out that I really enjoyed working with the parents, because you guys are the ones that see them on a long time basis, and the journey that you take, I would love to empower you more and empower you to know what your child's needs are and empower you to know how to get those needs met. So that's what brought me to the Family Support Centers. With that being said, families designed our Family Support Centers 10 years ago. So what you did was you went to the State House and you said, DDS, that's nice, Department of Developmental Services, that's great, I have them. What do they give me? I don't know. They have 200 people on their caseload. I like my person, but I never see them or talk to them. What do I do now? And really, when you're in school, it's under the IDEA law that school manages your schooling, right? So, and schools are so busy, especially right now with remote. So how do you get the support you need on a one-to-one basis? And so what you did as parents, or the people before your journey, went to the State House and said, we need more. And they developed these family support centers in the state. So there's 26 right now in the state of Massachusetts, and Seven Hills, our 10 years was up, so we just on Friday heard that we're getting 2 new ones. We're really excited about it. So we have Fitchburg office, which covers 15 towns. Leominster is one of the towns. We have an office in Sturbridge. We will have an office in Athol now, and we will have an office in Lowell now. So we're really excited about those offices. And now we're able to do a lot of things via Zoom and virtual. So all of the trainings that any of those sites offer, everybody's welcome to join. So we do a training every month, whether it be on guardianship, mass health, social security, IEP trainings. We have a Charting the Life course training coming up, which is you take a goal and you try to develop what does that goal mean to my family, such as if you have an individual that is older and someday they want to live on their own, but they don't know what a budget is, or they don't know what to do about certain things. Okay, they want this as their goal. We're going to help you get to as close to that goal as possible. What does it mean to them to live alone? Maybe it means roommates. Maybe it means shared living, and they get to live with another person that has a disability, or people that are going to take care of them like you would take care of them, but the natural way of doing things is to move out of your parents' house eventually. So there's lots and lots of different things that we do along the way. So that's why my journey took me to Family Support Centers, is because I get to empower you guys. I get to hear what your needs are, and I find those specialists that come to you and give you the support you need. So tonight, what we're going to do, again, my name is Gina Bernard. I'm the Senior Support Specialist at the Family Support Center in Fitchburg. And if you have questions or concerns, one, you could email me directly, or you could put them in the chat box. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my name. Maybe? Yeah, I'm going to rename myself with my email so that you can have that. .org. That way that you have my email. You can write that down anytime during the talk, okay? Um, so some of the things that we offer at the Family Support Center, like I said, is trainings. So we offer training and development. So a specialist will come in and they'll give you an overview of some kind of training, whether it be guardianship and alternatives, what is mass health and when should you apply for mass health, what is premium assistance, all the things in your journey that you may have had questions about or are questioning. Then the other things we do are, we don't like it to call it parent support group because you feel like you're getting, you don't need to be preached to, right? You guys are parents, you know best for your child. So we don't really like to call it a support group. We like to call it a social because really it's a time for us to get together and just vent, chat about what's happening, give each other ideas. My child doesn't know how to tell time yet. What kind of products do you have at home that have helped you? Those type of things. I want my child to learn how to shave, but I don't know how to teach him. Those kind of things. So, we can give ideas because we have experience in teaching, or maybe we have kids of our own that we can share our journey with you. But everybody is so different, and everyone needs so many different things that it's good to hear from other parents. So we actually have what's called Family Voices every Wednesday at 2:00. And it's a time for parents to come together. We figured 2:00 is about when the kids are offline, because that's when school sort of slows down and then maybe they need a break, and 2:00 you can get on the computer that they no longer need, right? So, and you can vent to us, you can ask us, where are the resources for helping my child with Zoom, with classrooms? Where are there special tutors that can help me? What is this new math that I never learned in my life, right? So all those things that we'd like to ask a teacher, but he's so busy at answering other questions that maybe you can bring it to the table and we can help you with. We talk about IEPs, how to write a goal on your IEP, or what does a goal mean? And really talk about, like, we're virtual right now, what should be in your IEP. So I have 7 staff that work for me. They all have different specialties in different areas that they shine. They have IEP. I have 2 staff that have gone to a 10-week lawyer class during this virtual life that we're living. And they've heard from lawyers and doctors about what we should expect from our students online. So their information has been very helpful as well. So we talk about food banks, we talk about immigration, we talk about remote rules. There's a lot of kids right now that are relying on social media and our computers for their social, because we don't have outside social right now. And what are the regulations and safeties around that our kids might need? So we're doing a relationship training class coming up. It's going to be once a month on a Thursday night at 4:00. And it is a woman named Allison, who is a therapist, called Successfully Social. She owns her own business, and she'll be coming in and helping us teach our friends in a fun way what a stranger is, what should we be telling people online, who is in our bubble, and those really important things that our kids are not going to understand right away, because this is virtual. We're all virtual, and we're trying to tell them this is their group of friends now. So we want them to be safe. We have cycling classes. So one of the things we've been able to do is get a grant for these stationary bikes, basically. And it's just the pedals, and they're $60, and you just put them on the ground, and you can sit on any chair or any couch, put your feet on them, and the pedals go. So we're going to listen to music and pedal our way away. Some of our folks have purchased or are getting from Santa stationary bikes, and we want to keep people moving through the winter. We don't want them to not move. So we're going to be doing some of that fun stuff. We have yoga, we have art classes and music classes. We have an 80s dance party on Thursday night at 7:00. So we have lots and lots of things that we do. We have about 5 Zooms a day for folks to join, whether it be a training or a fun activity. So fill your kids with, I know that it's a lot of computer time and a lot of Zoom time, but they don't have to talk on Zoom. They don't have to participate so much. If you want to just put the music on the side and let them listen to this music, they can. So really, it's just about enjoying other people's surroundings and enjoying other people in our life. And through it, maybe they'll learn a little something. Who knows, right? Our Halloween party had 102 people in it. It was so much fun. So we had lots of great feedback from that. So the things that we do trainings, we do social events, we do direct support, which means if you are with DDS as a service provider and you need hands-on support to maybe do some paperwork or get some resources of some kind, what DDS will do will send us a referral. So your service coordinator would send us a referral, and I would assign someone to be sort of your one-on-one to help you through paperwork or to help you through your journey, whatever it might be. I have folks that have come to us that have asked for Section 8 housing paperwork support. People who come just to say, I need help faxing something, and we'll fax it with them. So it can be a big issue and it can be a small issue. And if you're ever in question of if it's something that we can support, email me and I'll let you know, or I'll give you a resource that does help with that. So that's what we're here for, and that's part of our journey and part of our support. We definitely want to make sure that you understand why the Family Support Centers are here. We are here to make sure families stay together. So whether that mean that you are looking at some significant behavioral concerns, we want to help you get the support you need to stay at home and be safe. So if that's mental health stuff, if it's behavioral, if it's food, a roof over your head, those journeys are our journeys. So we are here to help you. We're here to be with you. So I'm going to stop right now. And if you'd like to unmute and ask a question, now's a good time to do that. And we can answer some specific questions, or I can just kind of keep talking about what we do.
Gina, I'll just start it off real quick before anyone else does. So some people might not know what it means to be DDS eligible. So what would be the path for that, so that they know, like, what does that mean? How do they do that?
Sure. So DDS is Department of Developmental Services. And what happens there is if your child has an IEP or has some significant needs, there is a packet that needs to be done. So it's an application with your child's specific information. We send that, we send their medical card and their IEP along to DDS. Now, how you would get that done is two different ways. I can either send you the link and you can fill out the paperwork and send it in yourself. We have found great success in when we fax it over because it has an agency name on it, and so typically it goes faster. So we're happy to do that with you. I do have a specific person at my office that helps people apply for DDS services. So if you're looking to apply for services or think that you might be eligible, definitely apply, because what's the worst that could happen? They could come back and say, unfortunately, at this time, you don't get DDS services. Does not mean you are not eligible for Seven Hills support, though. We are here to support our community. So even if you are not DDS, Department of Developmental Services, or DMH, which is Department of Mental Health, we're still here to help you.
Awesome. So then that was my next question was, where are you exclusive? Like, people had to have DDS. So that's great.
No, our one-to-one services are typically funded by DDS. So if you needed us to go with you to housing or with you to Social Security or with you to your IEP meetings, not that we're advocates, but we can go and we can write notes with you or prepare for your IEP meeting beforehand. Those type of things, we should have DDS services in place.
Okay.
If you have a DDS coordinator, it's as simple as us talking first, me finding out who that DDS service coordinator is. I email them and I say, can we work with them? They write me back and say, yes, put it in as a referral.
Awesome. I think a lot of families really need that,
Yeah.
so that's, I mean, that's probably the best thing that could come out of this meeting. Aside from everything, I mean, everything that you've listed so far is so valuable, but that's huge for families right now because, they, the Federation can only do so much, and Mass Advocates can only do so much, but to have somebody there to help take notes. I mean, I remember when I was first doing IEP meetings and it was hard.
Yeah.
Trying to remember, trying to, absorb what was being said. So that's an amazing service that you guys offer.
So one of the things we'll do is we'll sit with you before an IEP meeting and we'll say what, so that you feel prepared when you go into this meeting, right? You have your questions in place, you know your resources that are there. You go into the meeting and they have all these great people in your meeting, right? And you have this meeting and then you come back and you're like, what did they say? I don't even know what they said to me. Right? But you have us who are outside of the box, right? And we were taking notes and we're like, well, they said this. Is that really what you wanted them to say? Or we had already talked about it, so we already know you wanted to speak up about that. So we might message you and say, that's where you want to talk about this. It's a little easier now that we're on virtual, to be honest, because we can message each other.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. And we really can't say much at a meeting because it's really not our place. It really is up to the parent, and we are trying to empower you and let you know what resources are out there.
Awesome. So I'll open it up. Anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, I think Angela had a question.
I did. This sounds awesome, what you guys are offering. We currently have my daughter, she's enrolled at Beacon ABA,
Yep.
so she gets all of her services there, but I definitely would be interested in some of the parent support that you have. What would be the best way to, I guess, kind of get on? Is it just like an email list or should I like your Facebook page just to be able to see what you guys have going on for things
Just
during the
email
week?
me.
Okay.
Just email me. I'll put you on our weekly list.
Okay.
And like I said, we have about 5 Zooms a day. So anywhere from parent supports to arts and crafts.
Okay. Now, is it like, this is just like, nothing is free in life. I realize this, but is this something like, oh, wow. So what do you guys like? You must be like grant funded or something like that. That's amazing.
DDS funded. We're Department of Developmental funded.
Okay. Yep. That's awesome. Okay.
The only things that we may have to eventually charge for, and we haven't had to do it yet because I've been able to do, well, I only got a partial grant for our driving class. So we had a driver's ed class and I was partially granted money for it. But so we shared the cost across the board, like whoever was coming to the class for the instructor, because the instructor was expensive. So if we had an expensive instructor, then we might have you pay a little bit towards that. But we try not to. Nothing's over, I think the most we've ever charged anything is $25 for a series of things. Like bowling was $20 for 8 weeks, and that included snacks and the bowling and the shoes and the staff. So
awesome.
So mostly we try to, especially our trainings are always free. That's what we're here for.
Do you guys do stuff for, like, I'm just sort of thinking ahead to summer, like different summer activities and camps and whatnot? Okay.
Not camps, but we do activities.
Okay.
So we've never done well, I shouldn't say that. I guess we did do a winter like parent day where parents all got to go hiking and the kids got to stay, but we're not licensed to do childcare per se.
Okay.
So we don't do like a you can leave and keep your kids here type of thing.
Right.
But we will do we're going to do this with your kids while you guys are over here doing this.
Okay. Nice.
And we do stuff in the summertime outside of the building all the time. We go hiking. We went geocaching. Learned what that was this past summer. That was fun. Ice cream socials, car shows, yard sailing. We had parents come all bring their stuff and they had their own mini yard sales. So that was fun. So all kinds of different things. Yeah. Thank you for your interest. Yeah, absolutely.
I had a question, if it's okay. And I apologize in advance if I'm making you repeat yourself. I had to go run and help.
It's fine. It's fine.
But I was wondering, so DDS, I just getting in the process. I just got the paperwork. I haven't filled it out yet. I know you said you have like a designated person to help.
Yep.
Is there any way like you could help me? And also the other thing I wanted to ask you about is you do the family supports with like the mental health and the behavioral issues to because that's kind of like our situation. I have two kids both on the spectrum, and right now for reasons they have to be separated, so that was kind of one of the things that I was also wondering how I would get into as well, just getting
Yeah.
program.
So Tracy, definitely email me. We have some great resources out there. There are some amazing home support programs that work with both mental health and developmental needs. And then they work with the family. So you'll learn skills along with your children learning skills. Again, this is not a Seven Hills thing. We are a resource for you. So just because we have the umbrella of Seven Hills doesn't mean I don't refer people all over the place. I'm going to refer you to the place that gives you your needs.
Okay.
So there's lots of different places, but I'm going to give you the people that I know best because I've had experiences or parents have had experiences with them.
Okay. Yeah, because I was also really interested because there's another pile of paperwork that I have to fill out that I also wanted some help with. So thank you for that.
Yes.
I will definitely email you. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things we do as well as a training called Let's Get Organized, right? And so this training gets that pile of paper that you're talking about that every parent has. You are not alone. Every parent has this pile of paperwork in front of them that it's overwhelming. They're like, what do I do with this? And so what we do is we get a binder ready for you and we put tabs in it for you. And we say, let's do this first and put it in the tab. Let's do this next and put it in the tab. So just someone being there to say, it's okay not to get all this done tonight. Don't go to bed frustrated because you didn't get everything done. We never do. We never do. So we make like a task list with you and we say, who can help you with this? And I'll help you with that. And let's organize it. So that's why we call it Let's Get Organized. On top of, Melissa, I'm not going to call you out, but you have an older child and you probably have like a million pieces of paper that you don't know what to do with. And what do you keep? Right? So we have a professional that comes in and talks about what you really need to keep for your child as they grow older. Like you don't need their 3-year-old paperwork, or do you?
Right.
I don't know. They're
So I
15.
will out myself a little bit and just say, right, as a mom of a child who was going through the 18-year-old transition, and really I'd heard of DDS, I've heard of mass rehab, I knew a little bit about SSI. We didn't have guardianship. Did we need guardianship? Did we need power of attorney? So Gina, I reached out to, and we met and we just kind of broke down the process a little bit of what was most appropriate for my child. And some of them were, some of them weren't, but at least it kind of allowed me to kind of take a better understanding of what the different agencies even did, and what paperwork I needed for all of those things. And then he did the pre-driver's ed and did, so.
And he got his
learner's permit. We're getting there.
Yay.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it really is a journey, and what we want you all to understand is you're not alone. Like you may feel alone right now because we're all remote and we all don't have each other to our backs together. So, but we're not alone. You're the person next to you in the picture next to you is probably just as frustrated at times than is you're frustrated. So I have to remember that because when I have bad days, I need to remember that it's okay to have a bad day. So my personal journey, along with my professional journey, is mental health. So I have people in my life that I love that have mental health concerns. And, over time I've learned I also have mental health concerns. Everyone does, right? So my family a long time ago started this journey of mental health, and and trying to figure out how to help our community. So one of the things that we do every year is something called Michael's Run. And Michael's Run allows us to earn money to buy curriculum for teachers to learn what mental health looks like in the classroom. We've done that. We've done a support group at Leominster Hospital, which unfortunately had to close down because of COVID. But we hope to get that back up and running next year, where people came together and we got to talk about our mental health. And we had speakers come in, and it was a time for us just to be together for an hour or two. So definitely, we find those mental health needs. We find those people in our life that could help us. So that's a personal journey as well as a professional journey. But I wanted to share that with you because most of my staff have personal journeys as well as experience in the community and their own children or loved ones. I do see a question, do I only serve Leominster? And the answer is no. We serve all of our surrounding towns. So we go up to Gardner right now. But again, like I said, we're going to be going out to Athol as well. We have a new space in Athol. So, so right now we go Gardner, Fitchburg, we go to Pepperell, Townsend, Groton, we go around to Ayr. But I have to say, we definitely service people outside of our catchment area all the time. Like people call us every day for services or concerns. I had someone in Florida call me recently saying, I need a life coach. Can you find one for me? So we reached out to the people we know in that area and we asked if they could help them, and we connected them to the right connections. So, so those are journeys in themselves. Do we service Shrewsbury? We don't at the Fitchburg office, but there is a family support center in your area. I think it's called Thrive. But if you email me, I can definitely get you their information.
Gina, real quick, would it be okay to talk a little bit more about the autism waiver and kind of how that works, and also SSI?
Sure. So the Autism Waiver is a program that the state has under DESE, so DESE. It's a school-aged program for people under the age of 22, and that is a at-risk. They call it at-risk. So those are folks, you would reach out to your DDS coordinator, and if you don't have one yet, we can help you apply to be DDS served, but it is a DDS served program. And what that does is it allows you to have a stipend of money. So you get a lump sum of funds, and I'm going to use a general number here. So let's say you get $5,000. Typically you start around 12, but let's say you get $5,000. A piece of that funding needs to be used for skills trainers in your home, teaching your child, getting you settled in your house. The other piece of the funding is for what they call ancillary goods. So those are goods like horseback riding or somebody like a babysitter or what you would call respite. Just somebody to watch give you a break. That might be the case. You know, so that is called the Autism Waiver Program or the DESE Waiver Program. And you do need to apply for that. That program is fully funded this year, believe it or not, and there are 17 people on the wait list that are coming off of the wait list. So we're really excited about that in January we can start taking, DDS can start taking people off of the wait list. It runs between 7 years old, I believe, or is it 7 or 9?
I was thinking 9. That was kind of
I think
number.
9,
but I'm not.
9 years old to 22. And it is a program that your DDS worker will ask you, are they at risk of going residential? And so this is to help keep them home. So if you're thinking that your child, if they continue on the path that they're on and don't get the help they need, will have to go residential, they want you to learn at home. They want you to keep them home as long as possible. And that doesn't mean that eventually that's not the best course for them, because maybe structure is different at a program than it would be at your house for whatever reason. But the longer you try to do this, the better. It is goal based, so there's a lot of families that will have goals about potty training, a lot of families that will have goals about uh, behaviors. It does require you to have in-home services, but it also helps you with community services, so you can get sort of the goals across settings. Does that answer the question a bit, Stephanie?
Yeah, when
Okay.
you said 9 years old, I know that I had looked into something for Jameson, but see, my understanding was that the cutoff. I think when I talked to DDS, to my caseworker, it was like, oh, the cutoff is 9 years old. So is there a different one?
Okay, so yeah, there is. There's a 4-year-olds to 9-year-olds,
Okay.
and that is run by HMEA, uh, Horseman,
Yeah.
and it is an autism only waiver, and it runs the same. It's the same concept
Okay.
that we were just talking about. So you have a 4 to 9 waiver program, and then you have a 9 to 22 waiver program. And then after 22, there is a new program called self-direction, and it runs the same. So this program was running so well that the state decided to run it for adults now. So we have something called agency with choice. So if there are folks with older individuals turning 22 or about to turn 22, and you don't feel like there's a program out there that's going to meet their needs for whatever reason, maybe medical, or they're just too high functioning, or maybe the programs that you've seen are not going to be appropriate for your child, you have a new model called self-direction where you get to design your own program, and it's really, really exciting and very cool.
That's awesome.
And you get to choose an agency to help you with that, or you can do it all yourself.
Wow.
Yeah. So those families meet on Mondays at noon, and they chat about what works for them, what doesn't work for them, how do they find staff. So they talk every Monday at 12 o'clock at lunch.
Oh, cool.
That was another cool thing that happened through our Zooming, is we were able to get these families together. We would never be able to do that regularly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Um, are all of these for individuals with autism only? No. So the early waiver, so the up to 9, is autism only. The waiver that we were talking about from 9 to 22, that is not autism only. That is at risk. And then the 22 and up, no, that is not autism only. That is for anyone who is eligible for adult services. Does anyone else have any questions about the waiver programs?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure, Gail.
I deal with children who are um, traumatized from whatever reasons.
Yep.
And they come into my home. These are children of the state.
Yeah.
However, I am trauma-based trained myself. But what I've run into are situations where the insurance company is only going to cover, say, therapy, individual therapy. But if you wanted in-home services, they would not cover that because it's crosses the line. So are there any kind of programs for children that are state funded?
Yeah, so there's a great program at Luck that
Yes, I'm involved with Luck. Yeah, I am.
yeah. So
Yeah,
have they gotten them involved in their, oh, maybe they don't have it right now, but it was at risk youth program.
Well, my baby is getting individual therapy. So we can't do in-home therapy because the insurance company will not pay for it. So is the program you're talking about, is that
It's a grant funded
grant funded?
program.
Oh, okay, great.
So it shouldn't have that program shouldn't go through your insurance because it's a grant funded program.
So
So
it's at risk?
it's Children at Risk program,
Mhm.
yeah. So actually tomorrow's Thursday, right? At 3:30, I have a meeting with Systems of Care, and usually they're there. So
Okay.
let me find out who the person is that's running it, and if they're still running it during this COVID time.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem. So Gail, if you would just email me, my email's on my name,
Mhm.
just so that I can email you back the answer, okay?
Okay, sure, sure.
I'm
Thank you so
just
much.
writing myself a note. And if they are not able to assist, someone at that meeting. So I go to a meeting called Systems of Care, and it's all of the care units in Leominster catchment area. So
Mhm.
DYS, social services, therapy services, Luck, Seven Hills,
Right.
Gundara. So everyone goes and we all kind of talk about, okay, what can we help people with and what is the biggest problem right now and who has what.
Okay,
So
that would be great.
we try to keep um, our staff going to all these meetings so that we can hear everything that's changing.
Okay,
Um,
sounds great. Thank you so much.
you're more than welcome. Um, how do we collaborate with public schools on our children's cases? Oh, it depends what school district you're talking about. Some school districts, they ask us to come in and do parent trainings at their district. Some districts, we are not welcomed in because they think that we're advocates and we're not. We have lots of education and lots of ideas and lots of support for a family, but we are definitely not advocates. So the way we feel we can help the best is to help the parent either before a meeting, after a meeting. We feel like empowering you to know as much as you can know about your school districts, about your school programming, about your child's needs, then we can absolutely kind of support you in that way. If you have specific questions or specific needs, then obviously emailing us and talking to us one-on-one is the best way to do that.
So I have one question because I'm a little new here at Leominster, but
Welcome.
my, thank you. My kids, they doesn't have health insurance because my husband is not working a lot because coronavirus.
Mhm.
But I went to a couple of places and I was trying to get some application and the place are closing. So I was calling some number they have over there and they say they are supposed to back the call in a week maybe because they have a lot of calls waiting. But I don't know if you have any information about that. Which place can I go here close to me?
Yeah, so you're looking to apply for health insurance?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a phone number to call. It's called Healthcare for All. Um,
Okay.
I'll look up that number for you after we talk, but or maybe Stephanie. Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. So Healthcare for All is an organization that's free, and you can call them and tell them you need health insurance for your children, and they'll look you up and they'll tell you what you're eligible for and how to apply for it. They may even apply for it online over the phone with you. There's also places that will help you apply over the phone. But they might be closed. So you've already called people and they said that they'll
Yes.
get back to you. I th-
They
I
say
think
they say they have a lot of call waitings back and they are supposed to call back in a week or 4 days, but they never call back.
okay. So I would call Healthcare for All and definitely apply there. Now, if that doesn't work, take down my email and we'll find you more resources or we'll help you apply online if you need it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. We just had Healthcare for All come on as a trainer, and they did a wonderful job explaining to us how they help people online. And I can tell you from experience, every time we call, within 2 hours they call us back.
Oh wow.
So it's
I
been
will.
really, really helpful.
Yes, I wanna try to have something more for them because it's not
Yeah,
easy now.
yeah. So um, I think that you um, you might get the best information possible from Healthcare for All, but if they're telling you to fill out an application, what we have done is we have printed off the application for you, and then we have an application, and we'll get online like this, and we'll say, okay, we'll ask you the questions that are on the application and we'll fill it out for you, but at least you have somebody there, because sometimes they ask questions about something that you're like, well, what does that even mean? Who's the primary what, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes they ask questions that you're like, I don't even know what that question means. So and if you don't fill it in correctly, they'll deny you just because you forgot a box or something. So you definitely want to make sure someone's looking at it.
Okay, thank you.
Typically, Leominster Hospital or Burbank Hospital, they have
They have,
counselors.
yes, I went over there, but because coronavirus,
Yeah.
they are like closed for when the people are going in. So they say they give me a number, and I was calling and calling and calling. Nobody get that phone.
Yeah. So that's why I said typically they have one.
Yeah.
Burbank is a easier way to get somebody. In fact, we've even had good contact with the Gardner people, or faster contact with Gardner people as well. So there's people out there to help us if we needed it. But let's see if Healthcare for All can help you, and if not, we'll help you do the paperwork. And so this steps to be done, and we can help you with that.
Okay, thank you.
And if we run into an even bigger snag for whatever reason, Natalie Higgins' office is there to help as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So I just had a quick question.
Sure, Tracy.
So for the Autism Waiver Program, for my son, I know I haven't filled out the DDS. Could I do both and send it in? Like, could I apply for DDS and apply for the waiver at the same time, or do I have to do one at a time?
So DDS is where you would apply for the autism waiver. So DDS is the people that do the application for you. So you have to have DDS services in order to get the waiver.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you.
No, don't be sorry. It's a good question.
Thank you.
Hey, Gina, we had a question in the chat that I'm not sure that you answered, so I'm just going to
Oh,
say
I'm
it again.
sorry.
No, it's okay. I think it might have got buried in there. What makes a child designated as at risk? Did you already answer that?
Sure. No, I can answer
Okay,
that again
great.
if I have, or I don't know if I have. I've talked so fast. I'm sorry. So a child at risk is somebody who might be going residential. They might be on the path to residential for any reason, medical, behavioral. So if you have an assessment done with DDS and they deem you able to be part of DDS because of whatever reasons. It's not just IQ anymore. There's a lot of different reasons for DDS services. Then you would sit with them and you do an assessment of, are they at risk because they're a flight risk? They leave the house a lot. Some of the questions they might ask are, do they have self-injurious behaviors? Do they hurt siblings or people in the home? Things like that. So it is not a reflection of you by any means as a parent. So please don't take that as anything. It is a reflection of their behavioral needs or their medical needs. And in order to help you and guide you, they want to give you more assistance. So I hope that answers that question.
Awesome, thank you. And another question I have for you is, I know you have an email listserv, and
Yeah.
do you have anything posted on Facebook? Because I know a lot of people can get emails get buried.
Yep.
You do have a presence on Facebook?
Yep. So we have a Family Support Facebook page. I'm going to pull it up right now so that I can remember what it is. Sorry. Pull it up on my phone. I just want to get the wording correctly for you. So we have a Facebook page, or you can always go to the sevenhills.org page and look under what's happening.
Okay.
And our big calendar is there. So you can see what's happening all over Seven Hills. So our Facebook page is Seven Hills Family Support Centers. And when we get alerts that there's going to be like a food truck coming, we'll put it on Facebook so that you know. Or when we get an alert that there might be free vegetables somewhere, we put the alert on. Or if we're going to have a training or a social event, we put that on. So
Awesome.
Look us up, like us on Facebook.
Awesome. So, I mean, you have so many amazing resources. I think, you know, again, this is super valuable. I'm sure this will be watched over and over once we share the recording. Did you have anything else to present, or should we just see if anyone else has any more questions?
Go ahead. We have a few more minutes, so I'd love to open it up to specific questions if you have them. That's where the most help is, I think, is your
agree.
specific questions. So,
I agree.
Or experiences. If you've had experiences with Seven Hills, I'd love to hear them. Those are our bread and butter. Our feelings are through our people, so we miss that so much.
I was wondering if we could talk a little more about the SSI program.
Sure.
Okay.
So SSI is Social Security. And what happens when you retire in life is you get Social Security, right? Well, in Massachusetts, Social Security is also used for disability. So if your child has a disability, they do take your household income into consideration, but you can apply for Social Security for some supplemental income. So, you know, any little bit helps, right? So your child might be eligible for Social Security income if they have a disability of some kind. Again, it is a household income-based program. So they would ask for everyone in your household's income and your bills and things like that. So it is a supplemental income type of program. When you have a family member that a parent that retires, then you get something called, then you get a supplement for retirement from your parent. That's one. And then once they turn 18, they can apply for disability if they're working or not working, and they can get a disability or a Social Security income all on their own can be put into play, so they get Social Security that way. SSDI, which is Social Security Disability Income, that is when you've put into the system. So if you have worked and paid taxes or paid your dues, and then all of a sudden you can't work anymore, you can then apply for Social Security Disability if you have a disability because of whatever reason. So there's a lot that goes into SSI. We have spreadsheets, and we definitely have a library of trainings that we can offer. So if something like this comes up that you're like, I really want to learn more about Social Security, I can send you the link to our training, and you can hear our trainer anytime you want. So we don't have to wait for a training to come up.
Okay, and if I decide to apply, you said that you guys would help,
Yep.
like with the paperwork?
Yeah, so a lot of the paperwork for Social Security is you have to gather things. But we have created what's called a cheat sheet. And so you call the 800 number and you apply, and then on the cheat sheet, it gives you like, here are the questions they may ask you so that you're prepared for them. Here's all the paperwork they're going to ask you for so that you can gather it ahead of time. So we kind of created this cheat sheet so that when they do ask you these questions, you're prepared. So we absolutely can give you that. Again, that's easy to just send over via email.
Thank you so much. Your program sounds so great. I'm gonna email you. Hopefully, I'll be able to get into Seven Hills. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we're an umbrella of Seven Hills, so we are owned by Seven Hills, but we are open to everyone. We're open to the community. So we've actually had tow truck drivers just drop people off for help. So that, I mean, we're in the community and people know who we are, obviously, because they're just dropping people off that need help. So I was asked what our Facebook username was again. You just want me to hear me say, like us on Facebook. So Seven Hills Family Support Centers. I think we have time for one more question. Is that true, Bonnie? Can we do one more? Okay. Does anyone else have anything? Again, you can always email me or you know, send me a quick note through one of these ladies, through Bonnie or whatever.
I think Angela, you had your hand up. I don't know if you still have a question or. Oh, I think you're on mute still.
Sorry about that.
There you are.
Major traffic in here. No, I just more of a comment, something that, and I'm sure you guys probably cover this when you're, supporting families, but with the whole mass health thing, I don't know if a lot of people know that you can use it as supplemental insurance. And that's definitely something that we did with Allie, because we were really concerned when we had to, get all of this support and having to pay out of pocket. It was just like, it was a ridiculous expense. So I don't know if you guys do trainings, but, I know you had mentioned the whole Mass Health Premium Assistance Program, but it definitely was a lot of red tape in the beginning. So I kind of wish I would have had a little, I don't know, like a training just to kind of understand like what to do, because it's so overwhelming when you get a diagnosis and then it's then what?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
And how do you get what you need? And so we obviously applied for Mass Health, but then we didn't realize that Mass Health Premium Assistance was something entirely different. We obviously have that now. It's a wonderful program. So I highly, I hope that, parents and families can take advantage of that if they can.
Yeah, I think the
So.
beautiful thing in Massachusetts is the Healthcare for All phone number, because one of the things families can do now is they can call and say, do I qualify for?
Right.
And they can definitely walk you through, you qualify for premium assistance, or you qualify for, Mass Health Standard, because there's all kinds of different Mass Healths, right? So yes, we absolutely do trainings on Mass Health, because the moment we do a training, it changes and we have to do another one. So we definitely have those folks come in that are professionals and do the trainings for us, because we know as much as we know today, and it might change tomorrow. So none of my staff ever claim to know everything, because it's ever changing. So we try to get the most up-to-date information and then double check it often. So thank you for bringing that up, Angela, because yes, Mass Health is definitely a key to a lot of families having in-home services.
Yep. Thank you.
Just to piggyback on that too, I think having Mass Health, if you're able to get it, and I know there's a lot of circumstances where you may not be able to get it. So for us, and I'll use us as an example, maybe it'll be helpful, but, and like Angela, I think, so we have a primary insurance through my husband's employer. And then depending on some circumstances, you may be eligible for Mass Health as a secondary. So what happens is whenever we have appointments, Mass Health will come in and pay for any copays. So we never have copays for anything, and that goes for things not related to autism. Dental surgery. A lot of kids on the spectrum have trouble with teeth cleaning, and a lot of them end up having surgeries, and my son was one of them. And Mass Health, it took me almost a year to get that all fixed, because of course they make things difficult, but we ended up not paying a dime for that surgery because Mass Health kicked in and was able to cover. Now sometimes you have to pay, I think it's like $40 a child for that secondary, but if you qualify for premium assistance will cover that portion of it, and you get a check every month upwards of over $600. But it depends on your insurance. It's definitely something to look into. It's been helpful for us, so I know that's one of the biggest things that, and so just like Angela said, and I know Melissa said that too in the comments, that it's a huge benefit.
No, I'll just piggy on that, piggy. It's a confusing program. I totally have to say what Angela said is absolutely correct. I mean, years and years of not even knowing premium assistance existed. And it's very helpful because, through my health insurance from work, I'm able to pick the top tier of insurance so that the least out of pocket to me is incurred for the whole family. So not just my one child who made us eligible, right? And then, like you said, there's no copays because we have a gazillion appointments And it's just so nice to have the double coverage plus the, the money that I was paying for health insurance is now paid for. So it's, in my way of thinking, I was working a second job. Like that was my second job. Like my job, like,
Mm-hmm.
it gave me time back in my life and some financial help. So
The thing you have to be careful with, and not to be a Debbie Downer, but you have to be careful with what doctors you have.
Correct.
So some doctors will not take a certain insurance and others will. So you want to make sure that you're not losing doctors that are important to you.
Absolutely.
So there are some specialists that may not be on a mass health plan.
That's a good point too, because I know and also wherever you go has to take both of your primary insurance and your mass health. So I know for OT there aren't a lot of services around here, and there is one in Sterling that's wonderful, and we kind of started the process, but then they don't take mass health, and depending on how your primary is set up, it could just be a copay, but for us it was a lot more than that. So so it's important that you have to go to places that take both your insurance, your primary and the mass health, unfortunately.
Right.
But one of the great parts of having parents talk to each other is you get to learn who goes where, right? And you can say to yourself, oh, I can't have this specialist anymore, but I could go to that one and it could save me a lot over here. So why don't I try to do that? So it's all about hearsay. It's all about talking to other families that have walked the journey, because you're not alone. It just feels very alone when you're doing it.
Agreed. Well, this was fantastic, Gina. I mean, invaluable information for families.
Great.
As always.
Well, thank you for having me. I very much appreciate it. We love coming to talk to families and hearing what your needs are. It helps us design our next 4 to 6 months, because if we don't already have it, we will develop it, So really keep your questions coming, keep your supports coming, and let us know what works for you too, because we would love to tell families about what is working and what isn't working.
Fantastic.
Out of everybody that I've met in this journey, I just have to say, and everybody that I've, talked to, and I just feel like Gina is reliable, so knowledgeable, you can just, lay it all out there for her. She's probably heard it all and seen it all, but, she's just such a wealth of knowledge. So don't be shy and reach out to her. But thanks, Gina.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Gina. Really appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks
absolutely.
everybody for coming.
Thank you guys.
Thanks
for spending your night with me.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.